Let me ask you a question that could flip your entire perception of reality. What if everything you see, everything you feel, and everything you define as real is only a fraction of the truth? What if there's an entirely different level of existence, a dimension so profound that it doesn't just change what you see, but how you see? This is the fifth dimension, and stepping into it isn't just a philosophical idea, it's a complete rewiring of how you experience life. Most of us are living in what we call the third dimension. It's the world of duality, up and down, right and wrong, light and dark. It's the dimension of separation, where we perceive ourselves as individuals, disconnected from everything around us. We believe we're bound by time, space, and physical laws. This dimension is where fear lives, where competition thrives, and where survival feels like the ultimate goal. But what if I told you that this version of reality is just one layer of the infinite? What if the struggle, the limitations, and the constant sense of lack are not absolute truths, but simply the rules of the third dimension, rules that can be transcended? To understand the fifth dimension, we first need to look at the fourth dimension. The fourth is the bridge, the transition. It's where time begins to bend, where intuition sharpens, and where the veil between the physical and the spiritual starts to thin. If the third dimension is about separation, the fourth is about connection, connecting the dots between your thoughts, emotions, and the reality you're creating. It's where you start to realize that your mind is not just a tool for thinking, but a portal for creating.
Click subscribe to this channel to get more profound spiritual lesson.
But the fifth dimension. The fifth dimension is a complete paradigm shift. It's the realm of unity, where the illusion of separation dissolves. In the fifth dimension, you don't just believe in oneness, you experience it. You realize that you are not a drop in the ocean, you are the ocean itself. Imagine a reality where fear no longer exists because you understand that nothing is truly separate from you. Imagine a life where abundance is not something you chase but something you embody. This is the fifth dimension, and once you step into it, everything you thought you knew about reality begins to change. But here's the catch. You don't just stumble into the fifth dimension. It's not a place you go to, it's a frequency you tune into. Everything in the universe is energy, vibrating at different frequencies. The third dimension vibrates at a denser, slower frequency, which is why it feels heavy and rigid. The fifth dimension, on the other hand, vibrates at a much higher frequency. To access it, you have to raise your vibration, your energetic state, to match it. So, how do you know if you're stuck in the third dimension? Look at how you experience life. Are you constantly worried about the future or dwelling on the past? Are you wrapped up in fear, judgment, or comparison? These are all hallmarks of third dimensional thinking. In this dimension, we're taught to believe in scarcity, that there's not enough time, money, or love to go around. We're conditioned to see others as competitors, to cling to our egos, and to define ourselves by external achievements. This is the matrix of the third dimension, and most of us are so deeply entangled in it that we don't even realize it's just one version of reality. Now, let me ask you something profound. What if the struggles you face every day, the fear, the doubt, the feeling of being stuck, are not problems to be solved, but illusions to be seen through? What if the key to freedom isn't fixing your reality, but shifting your perception of it? This is where the fifth dimension comes in. When you begin to access the fifth dimension, your entire relationship with reality transforms. You start to see the interconnectedness of all things. You realize that your thoughts and emotions aren't just reactions to reality, they're creators of it. In the fifth dimension, you understand that the external world is simply a reflection of your internal state. If you want to change your reality, You don't fight against it, you change your frequency. But this isn't just a mental shift, it's an energetic one. Think of your vibration as a radio signal. If you're tuned into a frequency of fear, you'll attract experiences that match that vibration. But if you raise your frequency to love, gratitude, and unity, your reality begins to mirror those higher frequencies. This is why people who live in the fifth dimension often describe their lives as effortless. It's not that challenges disappear, it's that their energy is so aligned with flow and abundance that they navigate challenges with ease and grace. Here's the paradox: the fifth dimension exists here and now. It's not out there somewhere. It's layered on top of the reality you're experiencing right now. The reason you can't see it is because your vibration is tuned to the denser frequencies of the third dimension. But the moment you begin to raise your vibration, the higher dimensions become visible to you, not with your physical eyes, but with your consciousness. So let me ask you again, what are you doing every day to raise your vibration? Are you feeding your mind with thoughts of love, gratitude, and possibility, or are you stuck in patterns of fear and limitation? Are you nurturing your body with high vibrational foods and movement, or are you letting it stagnate? Are you connecting with your spirit through meditation, breathwork, or stillness, or are you drowning in the noise of the external world? Accessing the fifth dimension isn't about escaping the third, it's about integrating the higher frequencies into your daily life. It's about remembering who you truly are, a multidimensional being having a human experience. When you embody this truth, you stop seeing life as a series of problems to solve and start seeing it as a canvas for creation. Now that we've explored what the fifth dimension is and how it transforms your reality, let's focus on how to get there. How do you begin to shift your vibration from the dense, limiting energies of the third dimension to the expansive, high-frequency energies of the fifth? The truth is, the shift isn't something that happens overnight. It's not like flipping a switch where suddenly everything changes. It's a process, a journey of awakening, alignment, and letting go of what no longer serves you. But here's the good news: every step you take, no matter how small, brings you closer to living in the frequency of the fifth dimension. The first step is awareness. Most of us are so deeply immersed in the third dimension that we don't even realize we have a choice. We go through life reacting to external circumstances, believing we're victims of our reality. But the moment you become aware that your thoughts, emotions, and beliefs create your experience, you've already begun to shift. Awareness is the doorway to the fifth dimension because it allows you to step back and observe the patterns of the third dimension without being trapped by them. Ask yourself, what patterns am I currently stuck in? Are you living in fear of the future? Are you holding on to resentment from the past? Are you constantly comparing yourself to others or chasing validation? These patterns are not bad or wrong, they're simply the result of living in the third dimension. But once you see them for what they are, you have the power to change them. The next step is letting go. To raise your vibration, you must release the heavy, dense energies that are keeping you anchored in the third dimension. This might mean letting go of limiting beliefs, toxic relationships, or even old versions of yourself that no longer align with who you're becoming. But letting go isn't always easy. It requires trust that when you release what no longer serves you, you create space for something better to flow into your life. Here's a powerful exercise to help you let go. Close your eyes and visualize a cord connecting you to whatever is weighing you down. It could be a person, a belief, or an emotion. Imagine holding a pair of golden scissors in your hand. When you're ready, use the scissors to cut the cord and watch it dissolve into light. As you do this, take a deep breath and feel the weight lifting from your energy field. This simple practice can create an immediate shift in your vibration. Now, let's talk about the most important aspect of the shift: raising your frequency. Everything in the universe is energy, and your vibration is determined by the frequency of your thoughts, emotions, and actions. To live in the fifth dimension, you must align with its frequency, which is love, unity, and abundance. But how do you do that? Start with gratitude. Gratitude is one of the highest vibrational states you can embody because it shifts your focus from what's lacking to what's already abundant in your life. When you're in a state of gratitude, you're tuning into the frequency of the fifth dimension. Every morning when you wake up, take a moment to think of 3 things you're grateful for. Feel the gratitude in your heart. It doesn't matter how small or simple those things are, what matters is the energy you're cultivating. Another way to raise your vibration is through self-love. In the third dimension, we're taught to seek love and validation from external sources. But in the fifth dimension, you realize that love is not something you have to earn or chase, it's something you are. You are love, and the more you embody that truth, the higher your vibration becomes. Take time every day to nurture yourself, whether it's through meditation, movement, or simply speaking kindly to yourself. Remember, the way you treat yourself sets the tone for how the universe treats you. Let me ask you something. How often do you take time to connect with your inner self? Most of us are so busy with the external world that we forget to nurture our inner world. But the fifth dimension is not something you find outside of yourself, it's something you access within. Practices like meditation, breath work, and stillness help you tune into the higher frequencies of your true self. Even just 5 minutes of deep breathing can shift your energy and open the doorway to the fifth dimension. Another essential aspect of raising your vibration is forgiveness. Forgiveness is not about condoning someone's actions or letting them off the hook, it's about freeing yourself from the energetic weight of resentment and anger. These emotions are among the heaviest and densest energies, and they keep you anchored in the third dimension. When you forgive, you're not just releasing the other person, you're releasing yourself. Ask yourself, who or what am I still holding on to? When you let go of the need to be right, you create space for peace and love to flow into your life. Let's not forget the power of the present moment. The third dimension is heavily rooted in time past and future dominate our thoughts. But in the fifth dimension, time becomes fluid and the present moment is where all your power exists. When you're fully present, you're no longer caught in the illusions of fear and scarcity. You're aligned with the infinite possibilities of the now. Make it a habit to bring your awareness back to the present throughout the day. Notice your breath, feel the sensations in your body, and ground yourself in the here and now. Finally, surround yourself with high vibrational energy. This includes the people you spend time with, the media you consume, and the environments you inhabit. Energy is contagious, and the more you immerse yourself in positivity, the easier it becomes to sustain a high vibration. Spend time in nature, listen to uplifting music, and connect with people who inspire and support you. The shift to the fifth dimension is not about escaping the third, it's about transcending it. It's about living in the higher frequencies of love, unity, and abundance while still existing in the physical world. Every time you choose love over fear, gratitude over lack, and presence over distraction, you align yourself with the fifth dimension. So now you've begun the shift. You've started raising your vibration, letting go of the dense energies of the third dimension and tuning into the higher frequencies of the fifth dimension. But what does life actually look like when you start living from this higher perspective? What changes? What challenges arise? How do you maintain your alignment when the world around you still operates in lower frequencies? These are the questions we're about to answer. Living in the fifth dimension is not about escaping the physical world. You're still here, in a body, navigating the day-to-day realities of life on Earth. But what changes is how you perceive and interact with that reality. The fifth dimension isn't a different place, it's a different way of being. It's seeing the same world through a new lens, And from this higher perspective, everything begins to shift. One of the first things you'll notice when you start living in the fifth dimension is that fear begins to lose its grip on you. Fear is one of the defining energies of the third dimension. It's what keeps us stuck in survival mode, constantly worrying about the future or clinging to the past. But in the fifth dimension, you start to see fear for what it truly is, an illusion. You realize that nothing outside of you has the power to harm or control you unless you give it permission. Let me ask you something. How much of your life has been shaped by fear? Fear of failure, fear of rejection, fear of not being enough. Now imagine a life where those fears no longer dictate your choices. This is one of the greatest gifts of the fifth dimension, the freedom to live authentically without the weight of fear holding you back. Another profound shift is the way you experience time. In the third dimension, time feels linear. It moves in a straight line from past to present to future. We're constantly racing against the clock, trying to control outcomes and plan for what's ahead. But in the fifth dimension, time becomes fluid. You realize that the only moment that truly exists is the now. When you're living in the fifth dimension, you stop chasing the future and regretting the past. Instead, you anchor yourself in the present moment, knowing that everything you need is already here. This doesn't mean you stop setting goals or making plans. It means you approach them from a place of trust and alignment, rather than stress and struggle. Here's a practical exercise to deepen your connection to the present moment. Throughout the day, pause and ask yourself, what is real in this moment? Not what might happen tomorrow, not what happened yesterday, what is real right now. Notice your breath, the sensations in your body, the sounds around you. This simple practice pulls you out of the illusions of time and grounds you in the infinite possibilities of the now. As you anchor yourself in the higher frequencies of the fifth dimension, you'll also notice a dramatic shift in your relationships. The third dimension is rooted in separation. We see ourselves as separate from others, and this creates dynamics of competition, judgment, and conflict. But in the fifth dimension, the illusion of separation dissolves. You begin to see others not as other, but as mirrors of yourself. You realize that we're all connected, all part of the same infinite consciousness expressing itself in different forms. This shift creates a profound sense of compassion and understanding. When someone hurts you or acts out of alignment, you no longer see it as an attack. Instead, you recognize that their behavior is a reflection of their own pain or unconsciousness. This doesn't mean you allow others to disrespect or harm you. It means you approach every interaction with love and clarity, rather than judgment or reactivity. Let me ask you, what would your relationships look like if you approached them from a place of unconditional love and unity? How would you respond to conflict if you saw the other person as an extension of yourself? Living in the fifth dimension doesn't mean you'll never face challenges in your relationships. It means you'll navigate them with a higher level of awareness and grace. Another hallmark of living in the fifth dimension is the way you approach challenges and obstacles. In the third dimension, challenges often feel like problems to be solved or battles to be fought. We resist them, fight against them, and often feel victimized by them. But in the fifth dimension, challenges are seen from an entirely different perspective. You begin to understand that every challenge is an opportunity for growth, a lesson designed to help you expand and evolve. You stop asking, "Why is this happening to me?" and start asking, "What is this teaching me?" This shift in perspective transforms the way you experience life. Challenges no longer feel like roadblocks, they become stepping stones, guiding you toward greater alignment and understanding. Here's a deep question to reflect on. What if every challenge you've ever faced was perfectly designed to help you remember who you truly are? What if the pain, the struggles, and the setbacks were not punishments but gifts? This is the wisdom of the fifth dimension, understanding that everything in your reality is happening for you, not to you. One of the most beautiful aspects of living in the fifth dimension is the sense of flow that begins to permeate your life. In the third dimension, life often feels like an uphill battle. We're constantly pushing, striving, and struggling to make things happen. But in the fifth dimension, you align with the natural flow of the universe. You realize that you don't have to force or control, you simply have to align your energy with what you desire, and the universe takes care of the rest. This doesn't mean you become passive or complacent, it means you take inspired action from a place of trust and alignment. When you're in the fifth dimension, synchronicities become a regular occurrence. You start to notice how effortlessly things fall into place when you're in the right frequency. The right people, opportunities, and resources show up at exactly the right time, as if the universe is conspiring in your favor. Let me ask you one final question for this part. What would your life look like if you stopped fighting against the current and started flowing with it? How much more peace, joy, and abundance would you experience if you trusted the universe to support you every step of the way? Now, let's dive into the heart of what it truly means to live in the fifth dimension, a reality where you fully embrace your limitless potential. Imagine for a moment what it would feel like to let go of every limitation you've ever believed about yourself. Imagine stepping into a space where you no longer question your worth, no longer doubt your power, and no longer feel restricted by the circumstances of your life. That is the ultimate reality of the fifth dimension. It's not just a change in how you see the world, it's a transformation in how you see yourself. In the third dimension, we've been conditioned to believe in limitation. We're taught to see ourselves as small, separate, and powerless. We think of ourselves as individuals bound by our past, defined by our circumstances, and limited by what others say is possible. But the fifth dimension reveals a truth so profound that it can disrupt your entire sense of self. You are infinite. You are not your body, your mind, or even your experiences. You are pure consciousness, a spark of the divine, connected to all that is. Let me ask you something. Who are you without your story? Who are you without the labels you've been given, the roles you play, or the beliefs you've picked up along the way? In the fifth dimension, you begin to strip away these illusions. You realize that you are not the limitations you've been living by. You are the limitless awareness that exists beyond them. When you fully embrace this truth, you step into your power as a creator. The fifth dimension isn't just about understanding that your thoughts create your reality. It's about embodying that truth at the deepest level. It's about realizing that you are not a passive observer of life. You are an active participant in its creation. Every thought you think, every emotion you feel, and every belief you hold is shaping the reality you experience. Here's a profound question to reflect on. If your reality is a reflection of your inner state, what are you creating right now? Are you creating from a place of fear, doubt, or scarcity? Or are you creating from a place of love, abundance, and trust? In the fifth dimension, you take full responsibility for your energy because you understand that it's the key to shaping your world. But let's be clear, embracing your limitless potential doesn't mean you'll never face challenges. Challenges are not obstacles, they're opportunities. They're mirrors reflecting the parts of you that are still operating from old, limiting beliefs. Instead of resisting these challenges, the fifth dimension invites you to lean into them, to see them as teachers. Ask yourself, what is this experience showing me about myself? What belief, pattern, or fear is ready to be released so I can align with the truth of who I am? One of the most transformative aspects of living in the fifth dimension is the realization that abundance is your natural state. In the third dimension, we're conditioned to believe in scarcity, that there's never enough time, money, love, or resources to go around. But the fifth dimension reveals a deeper truth. The universe is infinitely abundant, and you are a part of that abundance. When you align with the frequency of abundance, you stop chasing and start attracting. You realize that you don't have to struggle to get what you want. Everything you desire is already available to you. The key is to align your energy with it. This is why gratitude is so powerful. It shifts your focus from what you lack to what you already have, raising your vibration to match the frequency of abundance. Here's a practical exercise. Imagine your dream life, not just in vague terms, but in vivid detail. What does it look like? What does it feel like? Now, instead of focusing on how far away it seems, focus on the version of you who is already living that life. How does that version of you think, feel, and act? Start embodying those qualities now, in the present moment. This is how you align with your desires and draw them into your reality. Perhaps the most profound shift that happens in the fifth dimension is the realization that you are never alone. In the third dimension, the illusion of separation can make us feel isolated, disconnected, and unsupported. But in the fifth dimension, you experience the truth of oneness. You realize that you are connected to every being, every energy, and every possibility in the universe. You understand that the universe is not something outside of you, it is a reflection of you. The ultimate reality of the fifth dimension is this: you are limitless. You are not bound by the past, by fear, or by the illusions of the third dimension. You are a creator, a divine being, and a powerful force of love and light. When you embrace this truth, you don't just change your reality, you change the world. Let me leave you with one final question. What would your life look like if you fully embraced your infinite potential? What could you create? Who could you become? And how could you serve the world if you let go of every limitation and stepped into the truth of who you are? The journey to the fifth dimension isn't about reaching a destination, it's about remembering who you've always been. And now that you've remembered, the question is, what will you do with this knowing? The choice, as always, is yours.